Okay, I'm going to give you the rundown of what we're going to do this morning. I'm Eric Hutchins. We're all here to see turtles and eels. We don't know if we're going to see any. We're not going to promise anything. We know there's some in here. We know they're swimming around. What we did yesterday morning is you can see some of the traps. We have 11 what are called hoop traps. They're all Rick Ross, Cape Ann Vernal Pond team, is leading up the effort to catch the turtles. We're going to catch as many of the turtles as we possibly can and simply move them upstream to Loop Pond. Loop Pond is that pond that you see if you take the train to Boston. It's just a little ways upstream. So they'll be in their same water system. These turtles and the babies in the future can actually just make their way back down, which they've even done in the past. We have 6 eel traps in here. Interspersed between these little strings going out, that's an eel trap. We get an eel trap out in deeper water. We've not caught many big eels in the past here. We don't know what we're going to catch today. So this is going to be a surprise for everybody. As Rick said, it's like a scavenger hunt, and we don't know what's coming up in these traps yet. We're going to pull them up one at a time. And we got one over there in the bushes, and what we're going to try to do is bring the trap with the animals over here to the grass. Obviously, everyone can't fit out there in the bushes. And we're going to start over there, bring over whatever we catch. Might be nothing, might be just a bunch of water. Measure them, figure out what species that is in the trap, and then we're going to fill our cars up with buckets of turtles. And the turtles will do fine. We're working them up over here in this corner because it'll stay shady this morning, though as you all know, turtles love the sun, so they won't mind a little bit of sun. The eels we certainly want to try to keep a little bit cooler. And then we're going to do this for a couple of hours. We'll see how long it goes. If we get done in good time, and we actually have nets all the way to the other side, so we have a full circle of nets that we're going to be checking. The other thing we're going to be checking is most of you, but not all of you, know that right here we have one of the only, we have an Elver trap. And this trap right here catches baby eels. These are eels that have just returned from the Sargasso Sea about 200 to 2,500 miles away. Eels swam to come, baby eels swam to come back to Rockport. They were born in the Sargasso Sea last fall, and they've been migrating from the east coast of the United States for the past almost 9 months, and they're still coming upstream. This year we've already caught, as of yesterday, I believe 1,871 eels in the Elver trap. These are just babies. We won't catch any babies in the traps that are in here. These are for the adults. The adults live in Milk Pond and in Loop Pond for upwards of 30 years. Other than humans and turtles, they're some of the longest lived animals that live, and horses too. Horses will break 30. But that's about it. They're actually some of our longest lived animals that live in Rockport are eels. And then in the fall, when they decide it's time to reproduce again, the adult eels, which get up to 3 feet long, 30 years old, out-migrate in the fall with a big rain event. They swim the 2,000 to 3,000 miles back out to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, farther out than Bermuda. They spawn and die, never to be seen again. And then the next year, the cycle returns. The babies return right off Front Beach. They swim right up the stream. And make sure you take a look. For those who haven't seen it, that's an eel ladder on the downstream side of this dam. It's one of the only eel ladders of its type in Massachusetts. Requires no electricity. There's no pumps. Joe was our DPW director was really happy with that. No pumps, nothing to maintain. It runs on its own with gravity. It works really well. We had one day this year where what was the high count? Colleen, what was that high count?
450.
No, I think we got a 700, didn't we? One day. It was somewhere between, I can't even remember. Well, often we get 1 or 2 a day.
I think it was in 2 days we had over 700.
Over 700 in 2 days.
Eric, do all eels go to Sargasso Sea to spawn?
Yes,
From
all of them.
all
All over Europe, all over Greenland.
How do they know? Is it an upwelling of something?
That we don't know.
It's a great mystery. It's a great mystery.
And because eels are worth so much, people have been studying eels. They've been spending millions and millions of dollars for decades trying to understand them. Eels, as of a couple years ago, these baby eels that come up here actually had a value of over $2,000 a pound. It is almost the most expensive seafood that exists in the ocean, though you're not allowed to harvest them in Massachusetts, the babies. They do in Maine.
So what do you do with the babies when you catch them, Eric?
When we catch them here, we bring them upstream and let them go at Loop Pond this year. It's highly illegal. Okay, any questions before we get started from anybody?
Yeah.
Anything?
Are these elvers the babies of the big eel from this location?
Yeah, no, not necessarily. These aren't, they do, every indication is that, yeah, he wants to know if these eels are the babies of the eels that used to live here. Every indication is that eels, that is not the case. Unlike salmon and other anadromous fish, salmon 90% of the time go back to where they were born. These fish their senses are actually on the Sargasso Sea. They do the opposite of salmon, and it's believed to be mostly by opportunity. That's why some years, last year I think our grand total of eels that returned to this stream was 36. This year we have almost 2,000. It's the massive migrations are coming up the coast, and they just sense fresh water, and it's thought that they just go in. We don't know enough about them to answer it definitively. So there's still a mystery. We have lots of mystery fish in this pond right here. And there's hopefully going to be a few less mysteries when we're done.
Don't eat the turtle. It's a baby turtle.
Little painted turtle. He'll appreciate not getting dredged up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course he will. No, sir, no.
It's going close. It's a very nice turtle.
He was in the, that's a muddy turtle. He was in a real muddy section. And the area that he was living in, or at least he got caught, that area is not getting dredged, so his little home where he was will actually be just like it was when he makes his way back down sometime in the future.
Is that a regular turtle or a sardine?
No, that's the sardine, and that's the turtle. They're about the same size, though.
I meant to say, is that a regular turtle or a snapper?
No, that's not a snapper. I would probably be a little more careful.
Baptize them and wash them off.
There we go. It's a good time of year to do this, too, because the water's not super hot. It's a little bit cooler.
That's a webbed one.
You wouldn't want to do this on a 90-degree day.
That was a webbed feet one. You had webbed feet.
And see him. He's gonna pick him up for you guys.
Oh, Jack, there it is. There it is. Look.
That's webbed feet.
Yep, he's got web feet, and he's got claws,
Spiky ones?
and these guys don't usually nip at you. But the snapping turtle, I wouldn't be holding him like this.
I would not. You should just hold them down.
All right, Clay, let's go. We're gonna go see the.
And we don't know if we're gonna catch any. We'll see.
We'll mark Eric.
So now we can start.
Okay, want to
All right.
data sheet.
From now on, we're going to refer to this turtle affectionately as turtle number 1. All right?
Oh, turtle number 1.
That's what I thought. Now, turtles have shells. Does anybody notice that yet? Okay. And by the way, this is a male. Males have really long claws on their front feet, which this one has. And what they do with those really long claws, you'd think they'd be digging or something. They don't. When they're trying to entice a female to breed, they get right to face with her, and they go like this and tickle her face with them long claws. Don't ask me why they do this, but they do this. And so you can always tell a male snapping turtle by these incredibly long claws. They're like a 1/4 inch at least, I think. I'm going to say 5/16. And the females have kind of short claws. Now, females do need to dig when they lay their eggs, but they dig with their hind legs, and they don't have really long claws back there either. They'd probably just break them off if they did. So anyway, turtles have these little things on the outside of their shells. Wait a minute. I can't see anymore. But anyways, Peter, what do they call these things? These little outside shell things? Yeah, it's the carapace is the whole top shell, but then they have these little things that are like, yeah, I guess so. And there's actually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 from the tail to the front of the turtle on each side. So what that means is you go to the right of the tail and you mark the first one, and this doesn't hurt the turtle, that's just bone in there, okay? And I'm gonna take this file and just notch his shell like this, and that notch will probably stay in there for many years, so we should be able to do this with, so there's a notch, that's turtle number 1, and this is the tens column over here. Once we run out of notches on this side, if we get more than 12 turtles, we'll start notching this side. That'll be number 10, and number 11 will have a notch on each side of the tail, and you can extrapolate from there. So anyway, we're going to measure this guy. Who's going to measure
The one
this?
you marked was right, number 1 at the tail end.
Yeah, but
Turtles with Hal Avey, you would examine every turtle to see if it had any scars or edema or swelling.
I don't remember. It was, again, 10 years ago, so.
Came down, they had to come in, they bought one first shot,
all right, so here's a couple of turtles.
Oh, you got a couple more.
Hi,
Those are
pal.
claws too, huh?
Reach in here and see who we have. Yeah. Now this one's a little bit more obvious as to why they call it a painted turtle. Look at how lovely that kind of corally red color is on the bottom of the shell. Not to mention these beautiful markings on the head and neck. So anyway, we got another male here, and so I'm going to mark this thing again.
How old is he?
Here's the other thing. Turtles have growth rings. So if you cut them in half and count the rings, it's like a tree. No.
Not in front of kids.
No.
Nah.
They have growth rings on their shells. But a lot of times, these things get worn off. And so I can see some growth rings here. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it's worn off smooth there. And so I know that this turtle is well over 6 years old, but I'm going to guess probably 12.
Sure.
Okay? So anyway,
Those claws don't hurt you at all, huh?
a rugged He-Man like myself, you know, anybody else would be cut to ribbons.
Could I?
No, they
feel what
really
that
don't.
feels like?
Here, look.
Yeah.
See, there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, yeah,
if you, yeah. So anyway, here we go, number 2. Okay,
Marking
number
them all.
2 is a male.
We'll call him Chip.
Chip,
Turtle
and
number
he is 4.5 inches. Okay. Somebody can drag that other turtle out of there. There we are. We already did that. Great. Hi, I'm Rick. Nice to see you. Oh, cut it out. All right. So, it looks like we got another male here. These males were hungry, and so let's do the work on this one.
That's a painted turtle as well.
It is, yes.
So what kinds of turtles could you find here?
Oh, we're gonna let that be a surprise.
Okay.
Lifespan of a painted turtle. Turtles are long-lived. A lot of times, when you're talking about lifespans of animals, the slower they move, the longer they live. Rabbits, you know these rabbits you see jumping around out here? 2 years. They're looking around, they're all nervous, they're wrecks. Turtles can live like 50 years or more.
Because they're chill.
and it's real possible that they get the same number of heartbeats in a lifetime. A rabbit and a turtle. 2 years, 50 years, okay?
Catfish. No, that's it.
Sorry, Siri, come here. You're
Oh, that's okay. I can step over. That won't hurt. I'll step right over.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Wow.
See the whiskers?
Ah,
And they have big spines too.
Barbells. Barbels. Barbels. Wow. Good haul. Look at all the turtles.
Look at this guy's making his way out. Trying to. Alright, once again I've lost my file.
Lost your file? I can get you one.
No, it's over there somewhere.
Oh.
Thank you.
When they get those, there'll be a lot of pressure. He wants to take a chunk out of you. I'll get you.
Alright, so now this one has short claws on her front legs. So that makes her a female. I was wondering if we were going to get any females here, and here we are. So that looks like a big adult female. And does anybody know what I did with my file and measuring tape? Because I have a tendency to lose things at an alarming rate.
is that a female? The biggest one?
There you go. So far, yeah. Ah, look at that. Thank you. Okay, so I believe we're at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a painted turtle. She's biting my waders. I've irritated her, evidently. All right.
He did not like his face touch.
We have
No.
5 3/4 inches.
It's a good assignment, huh? Having fun?
Okay. Can you pass that over to that thing there? Somewhere out on the end of the line. She will bite you. Okay, the next one in line is a male. While I got my tape, I'm going to measure it. I know I'm doing this in a different order, but 4 3/8. It's a male, 4 3/8 inches.
It's hard to tell when they're just
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And another male.
I got really good at this when I was breaking out of my jail cell. Here, can you put that over there in that thing? And here we go. We got another big male here. This is number 6. Now, he's already got some damage to his shell here. I don't know what he ran into, but the file perhaps. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
Turtle number 6.
You gotta take it right there. Right?
Ah!
Yeah, I thought he was going to bite you.
Yeah, he is biting me. But I mentioned earlier what a rugged He-Man I am. Anybody else would be hospitalized. An ordinary Spartan would have gone down. All right, 5 3/8.
3 in the most recent crop. So there.
Okay. I'm gonna fix this notch a little.
That's grass for sure.
It is, isn't it? You know?